All right, what's going on, folks? I'm trying to look for a tweet, honestly, where I think someone should have saved it. Man, it was a doozy. AOC was basically saying that anyone that was a Trump supporter, we need to put them on notice, this and that, and we need to put them in jail and shit like that. It was crazy, bro. Oh my goodness, it was wild stuff. Okay, go ahead and share the screen right quick here. There we go. Okay, what's going on, Temujin? Okay, so the thing is that it looks like Joe Biden is going to be the winner. Donald Trump and his followers are going to continue to play it out until the end as much as they can. I mean, it's kind of like a Battle of Berlin situation, you know? It really is. It's like, I'm not going to leave the White House. Kind of like with Hitler, where he's like, I'm not going to leave Berlin. I think in some ways, I mean, that's how it feels, right? And ultimately, they view Trumpers as being needed to be denazified. That's really what it is. They see MAGA-pedes purely as people that need to be denazified. And there's going to be a process of denazification that's going to happen. And it's going to be very soft, but nonetheless, it's going to happen. So we've got our favorite guy right here. We got the favorite guy. Ni hao. Ni hao. Mei shi ma. Mei shi ma. Let's go ahead and get into this video by none other than Beau the Fifth Column, Justin King. You know, he's one of the favorites. We can't really ignore this fool too much. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead.
Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Beau again. So today we're going to talk about a tone that is kind of sweeping the nation.
Mm-hmm.
The election isn't even resolved yet at the time of filming, and it wasn't resolved at the time of this message. But something happened to me. And I guess because it happened to me, I have to assume that it's going to happen to other people. They're going to be in this situation. I'm not really giving advice, but I'm going to tell you how I handled it and why.
All right.
I've told you before, I have a tight group of friends.
Yeah.
Very close circle of friends.
Mm-hmm.
We've known each other a very long time. I think the newest addition to this little circle was like 10 years ago. Most of us have known each other 20 years.
Yeah.
And we are tight. We are a group of people who will back each other up no matter what. In any situation, we're there for each other.
Mm-hmm.
In 2016, some of them supported Trump. As soon as he started enacting the policies down on the border, nobody did. That was a line too far. That was something they wouldn't cross. Most of my friends are former military contractors.
Oh, boy. Okay, you lost me. You lost me right there, once again. So you admit that most of your friends are people that, are overseas, that go out there and, do the stuff that basically the military doesn't get paid enough to do. Okay, go ahead.
It's not a demographic known for their ethical compass.
Wow. So he's good friends with these people, but he admits that they don't have that much of an ethical. Wow. You gonna just shit on your friends like that? Man, I wouldn't want to be your friend, bro.
But that was too much for them. At that moment, I'm like, nope, can't support this. Because although they may not seem like the most moral group from the outside, they do have morals, and they're just different than everybody else's. Most of them had seen asylum seekers or refugees with their own eyes. When you see people in that situation just trying to get somewhere safe, it becomes very hard to condemn them ever again.
All right.
So, although during the election back then, yeah, we had arguments and debates and they got heated. As soon as it became real, they chose the right side.
The right side.
And those conversations never happened again. So a lot of...
Actually, apparently they did happen again because you dropped some of your friends. I'm going to give some of this away here. He did drop some of his friends. So don't give me this bullshit. All right, go ahead.
Of the problems that other people have had, I haven't had to deal with. Not among my close friends. Because my close friends had the integrity to see wrong for wrong.
This virtue signaling is very annoying. My friends knew better. Even though they're all military contractors and they benefit from the system. But you know what? They have a moral compass. It's just different from everybody else's. I love this. He's trying to simultaneously defend them. And then also saying, I'm one of the better ones of that group. That's hilarious.
Regardless of party. However, there's that other group of friends that you have. You know, you have your close circle, and then you have those others that you hang out with, you like, you know, you're friends with, but they're not like those other friends.
I love this. What sort of friends are you talking about? You talking about like the friends that, you know, you don't really talk to that much, that maybe you went to high school with? I mean, what sort of friends you talking about, homie? You talking about the dudes that have done some wet work or around the world? What are you referring to?
They can't be counted on in the same way. They're not that tight circle. Some of them did not withdraw their support from Trump when those policies started getting enacted.
Remember that he said most of his friends, but now he has to delineate and say, well, there's this group of friends, but then there's this other group of friends. I mean, it's just like, what is this? Like a like a fucking tree where it's like there's, you know, rings of age growth, and it's like, well, these are the inner friends and these are the outer friends. And he did I love it where he has to delineate between the two, like, oh, well, these are the people that, you know, I don't really mess with on that level, but yeah, go ahead.
And I never spoke to him again. And I don't mean this in
so you tossed them aside. They were your friends. It doesn't sound like they were really your friends then. It sounds like they were folks that you worked with in your military contracting work, but they weren't really your friends. I don't know why you keep, you know, I mean, I feel like I need to play Houdini's Friends. How many of us have them friends? Because it's, I mean, this dude, he's very, very slick.
Form of hyperbole. I never spoke to them again. And I didn't miss anything. I don't feel like I lost anything in that time.
Well, it sounds like they were never your friends then, were they?
Tonight, one of them messaged me and said, hey, you know, one way or the other, no matter how the election turns out, you know, the intense political cycle, or however it was phrased, is over. We can move past this now.
Well, it sounds like your friend needs something from you. That's why he's messaging you. He wouldn't just do that out of the blue. It sounds like he needs something from you. But yeah, go ahead.
And I remember looking at my laptop and saying, can we? Aloud. And close my laptop. I didn't respond. And I have no intention of responding.
Because you're above that. I'm above dealing with those folks because I hold the moral high ground. Oh, mwah, I love it. Go ahead.
It's not politics. That wasn't.
Oh, please. Okay. There's a lot of counter signaling that goes on. There are so many other bread tubers who are like, politics is everything. Everything is politics is everything. Everything is politics. But now you have people like him who say it's not politics. I'll just give it away. I believe he says the word morals. Let's hear it.
Politics. That was morality.
Morality. Now, you already said that they had a screwed up or they had a different morality than everyone else already. Is that most of your friends are military contractors, so they see things differently than everybody else does. So, is he going to explain about their morality? No, he's not. Because he knows better. Let's continue.
This was somebody who had no problem supporting the idea of ripping children from parents.
Once again, the obvious is that Obama and Biden helped set up those camps. And you can blame Donald Trump and say he continued it. I'm not going to sit here and carry water for him, but to simply be like, oh, well, there were, and once again, Obama deported far more people, this and that. Once again, once again, people think this is going to go away. Honestly, there are a number of people who probably think that this is going to go away, and they're just going to allow and think that Joe Biden is just going to end it. I mean, fat chance, I say, but yeah, go ahead.
Because they crossed some imaginary line on a map.
Imaginary line on a map. I love that. I love that. There's his anarcho bro type of stuff. It's just an imaginary line. You think that, once again, I mean, the obvious sort of conservative argument is, it's ironic that you say that borders don't mean anything, but of course, then you had Chaz that did have very specific borders and didn't want anyone to go in. More to the point is, I mean, that's an idealized version of things. To get to that point, that's the whole idea of communism, right? So that the whole world can be a classless, stateless, borderless society and everything else, right? But that's a goal. You're not going to reach there now. So to say, oh, well, just a line on a map today. Would you say that to someone from the DPRK? It's just a line on a map. You know how many minefield, you know how many mines, I have no idea, that are on the Korean border right now on the 38th parallel? Thousands, probably. It's just a line on a map. You know how many people have profited from that? You know how many people have died because of that? And jackasses like you are just going to say, it's just a line on a map. And I know, I'm probably just being disingenuous here and saying, well, that doesn't have anything to do with it. But nonetheless, it's very disturbing when you're so flippant and you just say, a line on a map. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm done with my tirade on that. Go ahead.
But apparently it's too much to distance yourself from somebody who crosses a moral line. I don't believe that's true. I don't have any intention of trying to rekindle relationships that were terminated over the last 4 years. None. I don't.
See, the real problem I have with people like Bo the Fifth Column is you can tell that with him, he's either extremely good at acting, which I think that there's an element of, or that he really, I don't even know. I really don't. But I do think, I mean, look at his eye movement here where he's this, you can tell that he looks at his script. Because he's always kind of looking down. I've seen it when he'll kind of step back and kind of look down a little bit. I feel like he's got to be reading a script. He's got to, because I know that one libertarian gal, I cannot think of her name now, who made that one big video. But I know she writes scripts for him in some form or fashion. And I say to myself, what does this dude do? He puts out like 2 or 3 videos a day. He's literally like six hexahammer, excuse me. But it's like, what does he do for a job? It's like, obviously this is his job. He's on Patreon. And it makes me curious to think, what does this dude do? I don't know. That kind of, leave him alone, this and that. Anyone who hears this in earshot, I just want to make sure. Leave him alone. Don't mess with him. Don't try to do anything. I'm just saying is that this dude, I don't know, man. I think something's going to happen to him. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying is that someone's going to expose him. Someone's going to find some texts of his where he's like, banging chicks or something. This dude's got to be doing something, That's just me, though.
Don't intend on doing that. Because it's not politics. Morality doesn't run on an election cycle.
People have made it that way, though. And you are making it that way. Ironically, you dropped a friend, apparently not that good of a friend, 4 years ago. Because, once again, you're trying to make this very false equivalency that, politics isn't morality. And yet you continue to talk about morality by, ripping kids from their mother's arms and putting them in cages. And I'm not going to sit here and deny that. What I will say, though, is that you make it a moral issue. Are people like you going to go to Texas or go to Arizona or wherever these internment, well, you know what? I'll be very careful about my words, but go to these places where they're interred at try to free them. Or do you, say habla español? Do you understand these other languages? It's not, you're not going to see these folks do that. And ironically, of course, like I was saying, and I did kind of misconstrue, admittedly, but when they were talking about the whole white Cuban thing, and they said, well, white Cubans, they don't have anything to do with Latinos. So that's why I was saying Latinos and whatnot, watch out. Because they're going to, you are going to be put into a box, not necessarily by, the federal government, but by people that influence the federal government that have, all this cultural power, who write these books and everything like that. That's my whole point of it. Does that mean all Hispanics? No, it doesn't. Does it mean all Latinos? No. I'm just saying is that eventually, to a certain degree, you're going to be put in the same box as white folks to a point, and you're going to be seen as something, but yeah, go ahead.
You either have it or you don't. I don't feel I need people like that in my life.
Mm.
And I understand this runs counter to the tone that a lot of people are trying to set right now. That they want reconciliation. They want to begin the healing.
Some people can't be healed. Is that what you're saying?
We should forgive.
You don't believe that?
You can't heal until you address the wound.
Hmm.
Until then, it's not going to heal. Not properly.
Mm.
And it's something that we have a problem with in this country from the very beginning.
Mm.
From the very beginning.
He falls into the same trap that a lot of progressive folks and, some more social democratic folks, not necessarily like Marxist Leninists, because I think that they would hugely disagree about, screw it, I'll just say it, Germany. He says, well, Germany has done such a good job about that. And that is historically hilariously wrong.
We don't like to address our moral failures.
Yeah.
We justify it.
Yeah.
And say, oh, well, that was just the times. Nobody knew any better. It was a necessary evil. No, it wasn't. Other countries had already done away with slavery. We had founders who were abolitionists.
And we had plenty of founders who had slaves. So don't give me that crap. Are you going to tell me about Thomas Jefferson and all the descendants that happen to be black that, can trace their lineage back to Thomas Jefferson because he was a horny dude? You're going to talk about, George Washington, but and once again, I remember that there was that one guy, I think he was more of a progressive Democrat sort of guy. And he said, here's a photo of, or here's that painting of, all these founders of the United States. He put a check mark by all the ones that owned slaves. And there's only like one or two that didn't. So I don't really get this whole type of thing where it's just like, oh, well, a few of them were, a few of them were abolitionists.
Wasn't necessary, and people did know better. But we keep up that lie because we never addressed it.
Mm.
And there are incidents like that throughout all of American history where we just refused to address it until it got so distant.
There are so many countries that do this too. I mean, like I say, I'm not going to sit here and defend the United States, but to say that, oh, well, the United States just can't address its history. And then the example he provides is absolute dog shit. Let's go ahead and
So far into the past, we could pretend that it was okay. It was just a different time. No. It doesn't work. Eventually, the scars of those wounds, the scars of history, will burst open. The reason Germany was able to move on
Hold on. Finish that statement. Go ahead.
was because they addressed it.
No, they did not address it. Okay. Let's start with Ursula Haverbeck, because I recently saw that Ursula Haverbeck was like a 91-year-old woman who denied that let's just say the Shoah. We'll put it that way. And not even in full, as far as I know. But anyway, she was recently released from German prison. You have the separation between West Germany, East Germany for almost 50 years. So on top of the issue of the Holocaust, which I don't think is really addressed that much in Germany, as much as the people may think, you have the issue of the Stasi. And you can feel as you want to about the Stasi, this and that. But ultimately, that is considered an issue as well that people don't really talk about. It's like, do you think Germany really addressed those issues? No, absolutely not. Not in the same way. I think that it's just so underground. And I think that I don't think they addressed it. I don't think they addressed it at all, to be honest with you. I think it was just buried. The reality is, once again, is that people like Hasso von Manteuffel, the famous Colonel General who surrounded the 101st Airborne at Bastogne, helped to create the Bundeswehr as it is today. You had all these other, you had, of course, Werner von Braun come to the United States, of course, and help to create the space program as we know it today. What's left of it. And, you had Klaus Barbie, the Butcher of Lyon, was working for the United States government because he had experience with the French underground. And they kept him on until it became bad optics and they kicked him to the curb. But he continued to work for them, and he was said to be the one that helped track down Che Guevara in Bolivia. So, what are you talking about that, Germany did because they addressed it? That's bullshit. They didn't address it. And the thing is, it's just that it is much more quiet in Germany. It is much more quiet. And there's only two paths where, at least as far as I can see from some Germans that, speak English that I've seen, it's either the Germans who keep very, very quiet about it, but they secretly admire their grandparents or great-grandparents who were in the Wehrmacht in some form or fashion, whether it was in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Waffen-SS, or the ones who feel ashamed of it. So it's either silence or open saying, my family was wrong for doing that. My kin were wrong for that. I'm sure that there's huge studies that will say, Germany addressed arrested, this and that, but it's absolutely ignorant to say things like, oh, well, Germany handled it. No, it didn't.
They're like, yeah, we did this. They looked at it. They saw it.
No, they didn't. Once again, I think what you're referring to are the ordinary citizens who were sent to some of the concentration camps that were within Germany. But to say that, all German citizens got to see, the concentration camps, this and that, is ludicrous. And there were plenty of folks, I'm sure, who were just much more quiet about it. And they ultimately played the game. There were plenty of folks that were considered, fellow travelers or something like that. And they ended up blending into the system. That happened both East and West Germany, I don't really get this. Oh, they addressed it. No, they didn't. not in the way that you think they did. Also, it's the same thing. I mean, if you want to look at it, you might as well say, well, South Africa did a good job at that. No, it didn't. But he's not using that because I think he's a little smarter than that.
Then they were able to move on.
No, they really weren't. They really weren't. When the stabbing happened in Chemnitz a few years back, this is the most ironic German thing that exists. There was in Chemnitz, for those that remember, I think it was like a year or two ago, a German Cuban, a German citizen of Cuban descent, was trying to stop an argument that was going on between an Iraqi and a Syrian refugee. And I forget if it was the Syrian or the Iraqi, but they stabbed him. And then this is, of course, people were claiming, oh, the far right is rising up in Germany again. Blah, blah, blah. And of course, not much has come of it. The AfD, as far as I know, really isn't that much of a force in Germany, But I think it's just, so ridiculous.
We need to do the same thing. And I'm worried because of the tone that people are already striking. We don't even have the election determined yet. And people are already talking about reaching across the aisle and healing.
That's ironic. I've got an article from Politico that was released that I saw that somebody had released that I saw on Twitter. And I had to read it to y'all because it does sound pretty good. And it shows how ultimately the game doesn't change. It's just the players. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's easy for us out here to heal. There are still kids who don't know where their parents are right now. This didn't happen in the past.
What? It didn't happen under Obama? Really? Okay.
It's still occurring at this moment.
Yeah. It happened in Libya too, because ultimately, say what you will about Muammar Gaddafi, but guess what? He kept things open. Now, Libya is openly the center of the slave market on the African continent, arguably, but still.
And we're talking about healing. No. We have to address the wound first.
So how do you address it? Because the thing is, there are groups that are rising up right now. When AOC, I think she deleted it because she was smart. But I think the tweet that she said basically is that anyone who voted for Donald Trump or that made money because of Donald Trump were, they got money from the Trump administration. They need to be put on, they need to be put on notice. And there was somebody underneath that tweet and they were like, yeah, we're starting a foundation where anybody that, voted for Trump, this and that, and we're going to research them. We're going to find them. So there's going to be more doxing. Now, I wish I had some source for that. Let me see if I can find it, because it's going to bug the hell out of me. Yeah, this is going to bug the hell out of me. Let me see if I can find it. Because it will. Let me see if I can find it right quick, because it was going to bother me. As y'all know, chat. As y'all know. Let me see if I can find it. Thank you. We need you to keep organizing. Okay. This is 48 minutes, 38 minutes, 6 hours. Okay. 7 hours ago. I think she deleted it, though. I know she deleted it. Let me see if I can find it. I think someone's got to have AOC. Let's see here if I can find it. The hell of a thing. We love you, AOC. Let's see here. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, this is the tweet right here. Oh no, that's the Lincoln. Yeah. This has been archived. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Is anyone archiving these Trump sycophants for when they try to downplay or deny their complicity in the future? I foresee decent probability of many deleted tweets, writings, photos in the future. So once again, we're just openly talking about putting people on notice. And I did say doxing, excuse me for being, but the thing is, once again, this is not something that's being noticed, is it? And I swear there was somebody, there's potential incentive because Lincoln Project is definitely in scam territory with these results. Listen, we thought it worked, it didn't. In good faith, we're going to raise X million dollars. They're not going to give you shit. The Lincoln Project's not going to give you nothing. They made their money. They're going to be like, hell yeah, I got my money. See ya. Bye-bye. God damn. I can't believe this type of shit, huh? But yeah, that's what's going on. I can't, but then I swear. But yeah, that's the whole thing when. Yeah, it's just hilarious. But these are the people that exist, man. These are the people that exist. Do I think that, oh boy, PragerU, you left some, okay. You got some good stuff for me. Who was Robert E. Lee? Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay. We got to watch that. They did one earlier on Teddy Roosevelt, but I'm not going to worry about that. Let's go ahead and finish this up first. Holy shit. I'm sounding like
needs
Bosch
to be
now.
very public. We have to talk about what we did. Everything that happened needs to be laid bare. And we have to admit our fault.
You're talk. Oh, boy. You think that people aren't going to fight back? You think people aren't going to be like, I did nothing wrong? Or that was, oh, boy.
Until that happens, there's no reconciliation. There's no healing.
Yeah. Tell South Africa about how their Truth and Reconciliation program went, and see how the ANC is seen right now. There are all these veterans, so to speak, and I use veteran loosely, but these veterans who fought against apartheid. And they were part of, maybe the communists or whichever. And now they live in shacks. So, yeah.
It's not something that's going to move the country forward. It's just a cover-up. It's just omitting history. And it's one of those things that, the people who are going to want to do that the most and just move on, they're the same people who have been fighting over statues.
Really? I don't think it's all those folks. I really don't. There are plenty of folks who are like, I don't apologize for shit. And they ain't going to, and the folks, they aren't going to just say move on. The folks that are going to be saying move on are going to be the liberals who just want to continue to get money, or talking to the boomer conservatives or whatnot that have some sort of power left in this system. For everybody else, they're going to be like, I don't give a fuck. I ain't apologizing for shit, motherfucker.
From 100 years ago. I'm not ready for that.
Oh, you're not ready for it?
Until the moral failings of large portions of this country are laid bare.
Yeah, people have heard a lot of this stuff. You know what? And people are still going to say, what are you going to do to make it right? And when they start saying, well, we're going to kill some honkies, or we're going to start, doxing people so that they lose their jobs, you're going to create your own enemy. You're going to create an enemy that has nothing to lose. And they're going to know. This is the whole thing, part of the reason with Wignats now. And they're shitting on the the MAGAPEDs all they want, because they've been through this shit to a point. The thing is that you're going to create these folks, and I've repeated this before, and I'll say it again. You're going to create a group of people that know that system. They know what the process is going to be like of how to dox people. And once that happens, You're going to create people that, that you're going to create an underground railroad type of thing, a rat line, if you will, kind of like what the Nazis did. You're going to create that group of people that are going to be hiding in the shadows. But when you try to take over, they're going to find a way to come out. And then you're going to wonder, where did these people come from? You created them.
Discussed, examined, and we figure out why they happened. I'm not ready for reconciliation. I'm not ready to heal. Because the knife's still in the wound. We can't move forward until it's all exposed. Until then, yeah, there may be forgiveness for these people, but it's between them and their God. Has nothing to do with me.
You self-righteous prick. You absolute self-righteous prick. And also he's kind of tipping the fedora there. Not between me. Give me a break. Ugh.
Because I have no desire.
Well, fine.
To interact with them.
Wow, that one person. Wow. That one person was like, well, I'm sorry. The thing is, man, you know what? I've got an article here. Let's go ahead and finish this up.
Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.
And you think that just because you're going to lay everything bare...
Well,
hold on. Let me pause this next one here for a minute. Let's get into this bullshit right quick. So this is an article from Politico. America's new power couple, Mitch and Joe. Yeah, that's Mitch McConnell. How a Biden presidency and a McConnell-led Senate might actually get along. Like I say, take it for a grain of salt, but I did see this, and I do want to read it, see if it's interesting. Hold on. Cat's looking at me right now. Hold on. Give me a minute, folks. Okay, you need to go? Come on. Hey, you need to go? Come on. Come on, little buddy. Come on, little buddy. Come on. You need to get up? You need to go potty? Come on. Come on, man. Yeah, come on. Come on. Come on. You need to go. Go ahead and go. All right. I wasn't trying to be mean to him, but I gotta be careful because he'll just start peeing. Okay. All right. So this came out just yesterday. During Barack Obama's presidency, Joe Biden's prosperity for cutting deals with Mitch McConnell became a running source of aggregation for liberals. Now it will become the key to getting anything done at all. Some of the Democrats would say, Joe always wants to make a deal. Joe always wants to make a deal. And I'm thinking, hell yeah, that's his job. Senator Joe Manchin, Democrat from West Virginia. Why wouldn't he make a deal? Surely Biden would have preferred a Senate led by Chuck Schumer that would swiftly confirm his nominees and shepherd an ambitious legislative agenda along with Speaker Nancy Pelosi. On paper, McConnell's Republican Senate looks like a bad match for a Democratic White House under Biden, given McConnell's single-minded effort to torpedo the previous Democratic president's priorities. But the dynamics have changed, provided McConnell ekes out wins in Georgia runoffs and hangs on as a majority leader, and Biden finishes off President Donald Trump's chances in the Electoral College over the coming days. And perhaps most importantly, Biden and McConnell have a relationship forged over the years as Senate colleagues and combatants. McConnell was the only Senate Republican to attend the funeral of Biden's son, Beau, in 2015, and he's largely stayed away from GOP attacks on Biden's other son, Hunter. They have negotiated big things before. They've come through some very hard and even bitter fights over judicial confirmations. But they've managed to stay friends over a working professional relationship even in the hardest of times. McConnell and Biden may have reason to find some common ground. Under Trump, McConnell has already succeeded in his longtime goal of reshaping the judiciary. Soon his role will shift to the most powerful Republican in Washington, who must also defend a razor-thin majority. And Biden was elected running not on the most liberal agenda, but in part on his ability to work with the other side, predicting, if you'll see an epiphany, occur among any of the Republican friends if Trump loses. I campaigned as a Democrat, but I will govern as an American president, Biden told reporters Wednesday. The presidency itself is not a partisan institution. Democratic officials are already acknowledging that their legislative ambitions are much smaller than they were a week ago. But they think that there is room for agreement on things like a coronavirus aid package, infrastructure, higher education, and rural broadband. Republicans mostly agree. Both old bulls of the Senate, before their time at the highest rungs of American politics, McConnell and Biden, will have to rekindle that old give and take almost immediately. Biden's entire cabinet will be at the whims of whether McConnell even puts his nominees up for a vote, and his appointments are sure to be more centrist than if Schumer were in charge of the Senate. There's no hope of liberal icons like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren winning cabinet confirmation. Wah, wah. And I mean, Bernie Sanders is probably more social democrat than Elizabeth Warren. I mean, come on. Though that reality may also avoid intra-party fights among Democrats seeking to shape a Biden administration. Some Republicans still grouse about the delays that Democrats put on Trump's nominees, raising the prospect of a protracted fight right out of the gate for Biden as he staffs up amid a pandemic and economic crisis. GOP senators look at a presidential run in 2024 will have further political incentive to gum up the works in a bid for the spotlight. Mitch McConnell will force Joe Biden to negotiate every single cabinet secretary, every single district court judge, every single U.S. secretary with him, U.S. attorney with him, said Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut. My guess is we'll have a constitutional crisis pretty immediately. But Manchin argued that this country does not want lightning rods in the cabinet and that Biden and McConnell could effectively agree on a group of non-ideological nominees that wouldn't become all-out brawls between the two parties. Things are certainly not all warm and fuzzy between McConnell and Biden. Biden took a shot at McConnell in September over Congress's inability to pass a new coronavirus relief bill, warning that the states are in real trouble. And to quote my friend Mitch McConnell, he said, "Let the states go bankrupt." McConnell said earlier that this year that Biden would have to release more records to deal with the sexual misconduct allegation against him by former aide Tara Reade. Yet beneath the sniping is a deep relationship, even friendship, that could challenge the predictions of an absolute gridlock already emanating from the Capitol. McConnell referred to Biden on Wednesday as his old friend, and he paid public tribute to Biden during a 2016 speech just before the vice president left office, calling him a trusted partner. In 2011, Biden appeared at the McConnell Center in Kentucky, observing that the audience wants to see whether or not a Republican and Democrat really like one another. Well, I'm here to tell you, we do. It's a long relationship and they understand each other, said one Republican senator who knows both men. McConnell and Biden declined to comment for this story, and Trump's Twitter rants against vote counting have mostly frozen up Republicans from talking about how they would work with a President Biden. The GOP is still wary of crossing Trump. The Senate Republicans are in a very strong position to steer the next 2 years of the country, regardless of the outcome. My hope is that President Trump wins, said John Barrasso of Wyoming, the number 3 GOP leader. Our role is going to be significant. Among several agreements that liberals loathe, McConnell and Biden negotiated the fiscal cliff deal to raise taxes and cut spending in 2012. Rohit Kumar, okay, let's skip down here a little bit. We're getting to the end. Okay. Amidst a giant red wall of obstruction, if anyone would be able to squeeze out wins, it'd be Joe Biden, working with Schumer and Pelosi, said Scott Muehlhauser, Biden's deputy chief of staff during the 2012 presidential campaign and the former counsel on the Senate Finance Committee. And there may be mutual benefits to cutting more deals 8 years later. McConnell's majority faces the real possibility of a wipeout in 2022 given the number of seats at play. While Biden can avoid some of the ideological schisms within his party, on the Supreme Court, healthcare, and the filibuster that might have played out if Democrats held a narrow Senate majority. Chuck Hagel, who served, okay, what does he say? Biden will be personally involved. Obama was different. Hagel said, Obama didn't really understand the Congress, the Senate, like Joe does. So there you go. Let's go ahead and see it. Yeah, the identity game gets wilder every day. Yeah. 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 That where Tim's not in the... I'm sorry for leaving y'all behind for so long. I was just kind of vibing right now. Yeah. AOC act like her co-signing the system. Yeah. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Yeah, that's true. That's true too, yeah. Or is it Israel and provided aid post-war? He might be talking about that, but I don't know. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, Punjabify. Usually dislike contractors. They do their job, but all the patriotism stuff, they decorate their actions as something heroic. Yeah, anarchists want to skip the work and struggle they're building. Socialism requires their idealism, prevents them from adapting. Yeah. Godfather Part 2, hand grenade scene debunks malign on a map. Yeah, exactly. Chat security forces for pretty races. They were, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, boy. Okay, well, let's go ahead and continue on here. Let's go ahead and do this second video by Mr. King, a.k.a. Bo of the Fifth Column.
Hey there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today, we're going to answer the questions that arose from that last video. If you haven't seen it, short version, I think it's worth going and watching, but short version is, I'm not ready to rekindle relationships with people that I kind of let go because of their support of the Trump administration, because of their support of his policies over the last 4 years. That prompted 3 questions. First was, okay, that's fine for friends, but what about family? What are we going to do about that? Are we going to keep these people cut out of our lives? The next was, well, how are we supposed to heal if we don't reach out to them and show them the error of their ways? And the third wasn't super common, but I think it's worth addressing. I actually think that they were digs at me, but it's worth addressing either way. What about those people you work with if they have different political beliefs like you, Bo? Fair enough. So we're going to answer all 3 of them. We'll start with that last one. Yeah, I work with a whole bunch of people who have different political beliefs. In fact, the person that was given as an example, that's not past tense. Odds are, while you're watching this, she's preparing this video to go on to Instagram. She actually does work for this channel. And yes, she is to the right of me.
Oh, my goodness. Look at that. So once again, works on this channel. So once again, he's got fucking scripts. God damn it. I don't know why that keeps bugging me, but yeah, go ahead.
She's also ridiculously pro-freedom, ridiculously anti-authoritarian, and ridiculously moral.
How can you be right-wing and moral? Aren't you supposed to be against right-wingers and all that business? But they're moral people. Oh, they have morals. They don't like authoritarianism. Hold on. Another cat wants to get out. Hold on. Okay, there you go. Come on. Come on, Jojo. Hello. Ah, screw it. I guess I'll keep the door open. I just tend to say too many wild things, so I wanted to try to be careful. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's keep on going.
If you go to her channel, you will find that even though she is to the right of me, every single moral failing of the Trump administration was called out.
Oh, boy. How right-wing is she? That's my question, but yeah, go ahead.
Because it's not politics. That's the whole point of that video. It isn't politics, it's morality.
Things don't work out that way. Do you think that, You think that the Bolsheviks ever said that? It's not about politics, it's about morality. No, they didn't. It was damn well about politics. If you were a Menshevik, they were like, yeah, it's time to go, buddy, you know?
It's right and wrong, good and evil, not
Right and wrong, good and evil. Oh, boy.
left versus right, not Democrat versus Republican. It's morality.
Morality. Oh, that's lovely. People can fake morality. I can fake that and pretend to give a crap about slavery and all that stuff. And I could give lip service to it. And then I could really believe I don't really give a shit about it, you know? People can fake that.
I do not think that I will ever have to doubt her morality. That's not something I see happening. There are many people who did not see the Trump administration's moral failings because they were blinded by party. They were blinded by politics. And they thought that saying, oh, it's just a political stance would.
You better have the same sort of morality when people like Joe Biden continue, I mean, at least allegedly, are going to be working with Mitch McConnell. And they're going to have austerity. They're not going to, they're not going to give you UBI. They're going to continue to cut and cut and cut all sorts of federal programs. There can be less money to the states and everything else. But of course, this is the problem that I have ultimately. People spent 4 years going on and on about Donald Trump. Are these same folks going to criticize Joe Biden in the same way? If they aren't, then they're hypocrites. At least in my opinion, they are. Because they spent all this time talking about Donald Trump. They have created their careers. People like this guy. He started about 2016. His career came from talking about Donald Trump. If he doesn't go on Biden, if he doesn't get at Biden just as hard as he did on Donald Trump, he's a hypocrite. I'm just going to tell you.
Excuse, or at least overshadow, the moral implications of what they were okay with. I can assure you that as many ways as Carrie and I disagree on various topics.
Oh, yeah, Carrie. Yeah, Carrie is the one that's, yeah. She's the one that likes weed and this and that. Yeah. She's the one that writes for this channel. Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to have to tell her, oh, it's kind of wrong to use violence against children because their parents crossed a line in the sand. That's never going to be a conversation.
What about kids of parents that are Donald Trump supporters? I know that's a false equivalency, but nonetheless, would you say the same thing? I don't know. Would you?
No rest for the weary. Work.
Yeah.
It's not politics, it's morality.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to family members, yeah, I get it. It's going to be a whole lot harder to keep them cut out. And I don't know that you should. Again,
Look at that. Oh, I love it.
I don't know that I'm even giving advice here. I'm giving my actions, what I'm going to do. Everybody's life is different. This is pretty personal choices that are going to have to be made.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to family, I would suggest that you have a moral obligation to try to help them right themselves.
How do you do that? Do you admonish them? Do you... I don't get that. Go ahead, though.
I would frame the conversation not in left versus right, not in Republican versus Democrat.
Morality versus immorality.
But in right and wrong.
Right and wrong. Oh, yes. That's a very subjective measure. And they're going to continue. I'll tell you this right now. Because I would do the same thing. If you tried to frame it in right and wrong, the thing is that, I'm somewhat politically literate. Somewhat. But it's like, I'm just going to continue to hammer you until you're just going to give up on me. And you're either going to not talk to me or, yeah. But yeah, go ahead and keep trying with that right and wrong nonsense.
And in many cases, this is going to be a generational gap.
Mm.
And I would remind them where you got your sense of right and wrong from. And I would point out that that's what it's about, not politics.
See, the thing is, this whole thing about morality, this and that. Once again, it's such a subjective matter. And I know that people are going to say morality is very this way, but other people are going to say, no, that's not right. So, yeah, I mean, it depends on who you talk to.
This isn't about politics.
It is about politics. It is absolutely about politics. To say it is not about politics means you're disingenuous. When you're talking about healthcare, this and that, there are going to be a lot of people who say, yeah, we need Medicare for all. And of course, people like this, I would think that would believe that is a political issue. Political and moral are wrapped up in one another like a rope or like DNA.
It's about undermining the moral fabric of this country. Right now, as we speak, the President of the United States is trying to stop people's votes from being counted because he doesn't like what they say. That's not politics.
To say that's not politics is ridiculous. Apparently, when Al Gore did that in 2000, it wasn't politics either. That's just right and wrong, apparently.
Levying an attack against the very founding principles of this country. The idea that just saying, oh, well, it's just politics, washes away the moral implications. I don't think that holds water. Now, for that last one, how are people supposed to understand what they did wrong if you don't tell them, if you don't let them back into your life, if you don't forgive and forget? If I cut Bob out of my life because Bob was like, hey, it's a great thing that they're, taking these kids from their parents and throwing them in cages and saying that they don't need toothbrushes or beds. Yeah, I don't think this is somebody I need in my life. I'll be honest. I have no obligation to rekindle some relationship with him.
This kind of feeds into the whole idea once again. I didn't know where I was going to bring this up at, but I'll bring it here. You never talk politics with your family. You try not to. You don't talk politics at the dinner table. You don't talk about dinner. You don't talk about religion or politics or there's a whole list of stuff you shouldn't talk about. And it's just like the only thing really acceptable thing, maybe the weather. That's about it. But yeah, that was seen as a pretty standard operating procedure, if you will, when you're eating dinner with your family at the table. Of course, nowadays you don't do that. You just sit in front of a TV,
And I would suggest that me refusing to do so might actually help with reconciliation. It might help with healing. Because 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, he's going to say something like, I lost friends over politics because I supported the Trump administration. And somebody standing nearby can say, that really wasn't over politics. That was over a view of right and wrong.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to see what your morality is going to say. The right and wrong that you talk about with Joe Biden. You can say what you want to about Trump and say all the evil things that he said and all the evil things he did. Fine. I'm not going to sit here and, absolve him. But to say you're going to ignore what a potential Joe Biden presidency is going to look like is disingenuous as hell. But yeah, go ahead. I know I keep bringing that up. I know it's probably a straw man, but nonetheless.
Sometimes it's not the message, it's the messenger. It might be more motivating to have lost friends and then have it explained why? Than simply, oh yeah, we didn't talk for a couple of years because I thought you were a horrible human being. But now that this influence is gone, well, everything's going to be okay.
No.
Because you've returned to somebody who can still be swayed by that. No, I have no reason to put this person back in my life. Fighting over politics, fighting over who should rule a country or how it should be ruled, that's incredibly common. Arguing over politics is fine.
No, it isn't. Apparently, this guy has never seen Portland. He has never seen the Portland footage. He doesn't give a shit about it, apparently. When people are getting beat up, when people are getting killed, or seeing, various type of, all the doxing that happen. It's all, just arguing about politics is normal. There's no real standard between just arguing with your grandpa about, taxes, or all the riots that are going on right now. That, you need to set up some sort of dichotomy. You need to set up some sort of scale. But he doesn't do that.
That happens all the time. It's the plot of movies. And yes, if it's politics, you can let it go.
Where is this coming from? This is a guy who spent 4 years talking about Donald Trump and all the evil that he did. Called him an orange Nazi. But apparently, politics aren't everything. It's morals. Called him an orange Mussolini. Fell into the same trap as the rest of them. But now he's trying to... I was waiting for this moment when, Joe Biden or whoever else was going to be elected to get Trump out. How they were going to switch up their game. Now it's to say, well, it's about morals. It's about morals, folks.
But not if it's morality. Not if it's a deep divide between what one person sees as right and wrong and the other person sees as tolerable. And that's where this was. The fact that tens of millions of Americans, after 4 years of the Trump regime, do not realize that he led the country down this morally bankrupt road is heartbreaking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would say that it's not just Donald Trump. There are plenty of folks who say that Trump was just a symptom. It wasn't the cause. Once again, I can agree with those folks. People like you just want to say that he was the cause of all this trouble. That's not true at all. There are plenty of things that caused the rise of Donald Trump. The loss of jobs, the gig economy, so many other things, a whole list of things. But of course, people like you don't care about those issues, and you're going to continue to try to push for some magical sort of system, that probably won't exist ever,
And it shows us how much work we have to do. And given the amount of work that needs to be done, I'm not sure I want to waste my time with people that I don't have respect for anymore.
Okay, well, you're going to be fighting those people. That's all I can tell you. I don't say that as Fed posting either. I say that as they're going to join the enemy, and you're going to be fighting them. That's all I can tell you.
Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.
Okay. Take a break from this here. Sorry about that. Let me check this right quick here. Anything interesting? Oh, okay. But yeah. I wish Republicans were as base as Radlin's made them out to be. Yeah. Trump regime, yeah. I hope we get to see the day of the toaster, yeah. I hope Biden wins will end BreadTube, or if we really get lucky, yeah, they'll see the error in their liberal ways, but that's unlikely. Oh, no, absolutely not. They will continue to show for Biden as much as possible because they will say he's better than Trump. Yeah, orange juice. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't exile a friend over politics. Yeah, exactly. Is JoJo indoor or outdoor? He is indoor. He is an indoor cat. Yeah, and then the Nazgul arrived. Yeah, exactly. All right, we got 2 videos here. We're gonna go ahead and knock out. The first one, DPRK Korea adopts anti-tobacco law. You know what other country did that? Or what other regime? The Nazi regime. Just to say, I don't have anything against the DPRK. I'm just saying, be careful, because ultimately the powers that be will try to frame this as they're going to try to make the connection that the DPRK is a fascist nation. I'm just saying.
민주주의민공화국 최고인민회의 상임위원회 제14기 제11차 전원회의가 4일 만수대 의사당에서 진행됐습니다. 조선노동당 중앙위원회 정치국 상무위원회 위원이며 조선민주주의민공화국 국무위원회 제1부위원장이며 최고인민회의 상임위원회 위원장인 최룡해 동지가 전원회의를 사회했습니다. 전원회의에는 최고인민회의 상임위원회 부위원장들인 태형철 동지, 박영일 동지, 소기장 고길선 동지를 비롯한 최고인민회의 상임위원회 위원들이 참가했습니다. 전원회의에는 의안으로 조선민주주의민공화국 금연법을 채택함에 대하여와 조선민주주의민공화국 기업소법을 수정 보충함에 대하여가 상정됐습니다. 최고인민회의 법제위원회에서 심의된 조선민주주의민공화국 금연법과 기업소법 수정 보충안의 기본 내용에 대한 해설이 있었습니다. 31개 조문으로 구성된 금연법에는 국가금연정책의 요구에 맞게 담배 생산 및 판매,
Protecting the lives and health of the people.
사회적
Okay.
관계를 강화하여 인민의 생명과
Or cultured hygienic
보호하고
living environments by tightening the legal and social controls on the production and sale of cigarettes and on smoking as required by the state tobacco prohibition policy. So it sounds like they're going to try to have like a Surgeon General's warning. That's what it sounds like to me. That's my assumption.
보다 문화위생적인 생활 환경을 마련하는 데서 모든 기관, 단체, 국민들이 지켜야 할 준칙들이 규정되어 있습니다. 정치 사상 교양 장소들, 극장, 영화관과 같은 공공장소,
Spaces for political and ideological education. Excuse me, I do have a cookie in my mouth. Sorry. Public spaces including theaters, cinemas, and institutions for nursing and upbringing children, medical and public health facilities, food and sales service facilities, public transport means. Also indicates penalties for violating smoking rules.
어린이 보육교양기관, 교육기관, 의료보건시설, 상업, 급양 편의봉사시설, 공공운수수단을 비롯한 흡연 금지 장소 및 단위들이 제정되고 흡연 질서를 어긴 행위에 대한 해당한 처벌 내용 등이 밝혀져 있습니다. 기업소법 수정 보충안에는 기업소를 노력 절약형, 에너지 절약형, 원가 절약형, 부지 절약형으로 전환시키며 종업원들이 절약 정신을 체질화한 애국적인
Just
근로자가
in case it's hard to read, the revision and supplements to the enterprise law newly stipulate contents of making enterprises labor, energy cost, and land-saving ones. Yeah. The thing is, tobacco is a very, it sucks the nutrients out of the soil. Similar to cotton. Cotton, peanuts, those all suck the resources out of it, it creates a very dust bowl-like sense. Yeah. So it sounds like this is more of an economic scenario, and also just they want to be able to grow more food, which is perfectly understandable.
도록 할 때 대한 내용들이 새로 명시됐습니다. 이와 함께 모든 단위들에서 기업체를 새로 조직하고
Okay, the enterprise law refers to issues which all the units must observe when organizing new enterprises or when their affiliations change. It stipulates that the production and business management must be done under the unified guidance and strategic control of the state and on socialist principles.
거나 소속이 변동될 때 준수해야 할 문제, 국가의 통일적 지도와 전략적 관리 밑에 생산과 경영 활동을 철저히 사회주의 원칙에 맞게 진행할 때 대한 문제들이 반영되었습니다. 전원회의에서는 상정된 의견에 대한 깊이 있는 연구와 의견 교환이 있었습니다. 전원회의에서는 최고인민회의 상임위원회 정령, 조선민주주의민공화국 금연법을 채택함에
Unanimous
대하여
approval.
조선민주주의민공화국 기업소법을 수정 보충함에 대하여가 전원 일치로 채택되었습니다.
Interesting to say the least. Okay. Neato. Yeah, I love cigars. Yeah, that's why we rotate beans. I love the smell of tobacco, but I don't use it. Yeah, that's fair. Doesn't Papa Kim smoke? Yeah, this sounds like one of those things that's kind of, Two no-no regimes ban smoking. That means we can't ban it. Lol. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I take it with a grain of salt. This is probably just more of, it sounds more like, okay, you can't smoke in these certain areas, but also we're going to put more of a, we're not going to produce as much tobacco as we used to. It sounds more like a pragmatic view in my view, but yeah. Watch my smoking video. It's fucking great. Okay. Papa can smoke because he has iron lungs. Yeah. Okay. Last video we're going to see here, just for S's and G's. It's good old PragerU, who was Robert E. Lee. Woo! Teddy Roosevelt was fairly reasonable. They tried to make him appear not racist and say that, he did allow he helped lead Buffalo Soldiers up San Juan Hill. It was basically the whole linchpin of the whole video. This, however, is going to be, it's going to be trouble.
Robert E. Lee.
I'm going to watch this later.
Statues of great historical figures, like Robert E. Lee, are being torn down across America. Here are some facts about Lee that remind us why his statue should remain.
Uh-oh.
Robert E. Lee was connected to George Washington through his father, Light Horse Harry Lee.
Yeah, that's why it's called Washington and Lee University. Yeah. It's in the name of the university.
Washington's cavalry commander, and his wife, Martha Washington's great-granddaughter. Lee's home at Arlington House was just 10 miles.
The thing is that people are going to say, oh, George Washington owned slaves, and he even tried to track down a slave that ran away from him. So yeah, that's probably, people are going to say that's not really a reason to like him.
From Washington's Mount Vernon. Today, it is the site of Arlington National Cemetery.
Yep. They took away Robert E. Lee's property. They took it all away, and they turned it into a cemetery. That's how much they wanted to dab on him.
After 30 years of military service, Lee led U.S. Marines to crush the attempted slave rebellion by radical abolitionist John Brown.
Oh boy, you better be careful. Oh man. Oh, PragerU, you got to be careful, buddy. Oh man. Oh, Dennis Prager, you got to be careful, man. I know that, you're trying to get this into schools. Oh man. People are going to roast you. Oh Lord. Once again, I don't like John Brown either, because yeah, John Brown was ultimately just the typical shitlib who came from money, whizzed that money right down his leg, and then he became an abolitionist, because he wanted prestige. But are you kidding me, dude? At Harper's Ferry? Are you? Oh man. Oof.
October 1859. 21 co-conspirators had seized a federal armory, and all of them were killed or captured, including John Brown.
The thing is that once again, that John Brown's group also killed a freed black man. That's something that's always left out of the story, but I always like to bring that up as none other than, but I guess he was a sacrifice for the greater good. I don't say that unironically. I do think that they actually believe that, but yeah, go ahead.
Who was tried and hanged for treason. Lee deemed slavery a moral and political evil in any country, but considered it a greater evil to the white man than to the black race, since blacks are immeasurably better off here than in Africa.
Is this irony? Is this irony? Are you serious, bro? They're going to, oh my goodness. The lefties are, once the election is done, bread tubers are going to have a field day. Oh my goodness. I guarantee you someone is going to send this to Vosh. I can guarantee you. Oh my goodness.
Opposing secession, Lee foresaw no greater calamity for the country than a dissolution of the Union. But when Virginia seceded in a close vote, Lee resigned his commission. Despite offers to command Union forces, Lee opted to organize the defense of his native state. After 4 years as Confederate commander, Lee became an icon of reconciliation upon his surrender. As president of Virginia's Washington College, he favored education for freed slaves but opposed their right to vote.
Are you purposely making a video of this going? Wig Nights got taken down for less. Like I say, once again, this is YouTube, but there were people who were posting videos of speeches by Hitler, and yet this shit is still allowed? Holy crap. This is
Lee died
amazing.
from a
It's
stroke
amazing.
In 1870, and is buried beneath Lee Chapel in what's now Washington and Lee University.
As I
The
said.
legendary warhorse Traveler rests in a plot nearby.
Oh my god. Oh Lord have mercy. They actually did that. Holy crap. They actually did that. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy though. Let's send this to Vosh ourselves. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Civil War II Electric Boogaloo. Yeah. It really is acceleration. Yeah. Was a proto Radlib. He was absolutely a proto Radlib. Yeah. Can't wait to see his take. Yeah. Yep. Oh my goodness. But yeah, yeah. I can see why people like watching PragerU videos. They are so easy to debunk, aren't they? Yeah, they really are. You don't want to help Vosh? Nah. You're right. Yeah, we shouldn't probably send it to him. But that's wild stuff, isn't it, chap? That's some wild stuff. Sorry for the shouldn't talk my mouth full. Watch my smoking video. All right, okay. Let me see what we got here. Let me go on the YouTubes here. Let me go ahead and mute my mic right quick here. Actually, I don't have to mute my mic, but let me see here. Let me go here right quick. It should show that I'm live. Let me see here. Does it say I'm live right now? Let me see. Yep, it does. Okay. Let me go in there right quick. I can't. Can I click on it? Can I go in there? Oh, I can't go. Okay. So I got to go through this. Okay. Sorry. I'm boomer style. Sorry. Sorry about that, chat. Let me go ahead and, yeah, here we go. Let me go ahead and mute this right quick. That way we don't get, sorry. Sorry about that. Let me go ahead and do that. That way I can see it. So, oh, there you go. See a fat guy have a heart attack now. Okay, Kaz back on Discord. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me click off that because that's kind of annoying. And okay. Let's see here. Moses, Hitler, okay, part 5. What's the link there? I smoke videos way down in the first video that survived. Okay. Gotcha. We live in a period. Okay. Oh, smoking. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen this before. Yeah, I've seen this before. Go ahead, though. And they start making out. Yeah.
Are they smoking? Or are they gay?
Yeah.
Smoke.
It really is. I forgot. I'm going to go ahead and watch some of your meme videos because I do need some good laughs. So shout out to my man Kaz back on Discord. Let me see here. Oh, this is more TYT stuff. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, that is funny, though. That is funny. All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'll help my man Anon Kazan out. I probably won't watch the stream because I'm seeing something else, but let me see. I'll probably flip back and forth between other stuff. Let me see here. I think Anon Kazan, though, is streaming. You go ahead and provide the link right quick. What's he got going on? Oh, is he playing a game? Oh, okay, he's just playing it. Well, you know what? I'll go ahead and help my man out. Why not? I'll go ahead and help my man out. Right quick. I'll go ahead and help him out. I'll go ahead and let me go ahead and drop the link in there. There we go. So if y'all want to, y'all can watch Anon Kazan right quick because I'll help my man out. Like I said, RiceTube, we're going to try to stick together. You know, we're trying to go against BreadTube and all this type of stuff. We're going to try to create our own, you know, we're trying to be the new kids, you know. And it's like, even if I stop streaming and whatnot, you know, I think Anon Kazan, he's going to continue on, or, you know, other folks, they're going to be out there doing their thing. So I'm going to, you know, props to him. You know, I'm going to try to be a good guy like that. Yeah. And this a gamer? Yeah, apparently so. Yeah, he's playing Splatterhouse 3, apparently. That's an old school game. Where are you, mother? I'll go ahead and keep that up while I'm watching this this
Some
stuff.
seekers
Don't worry, I'm not gonna make y'all watch that. I'll keep it there. Yeah, bread tubers will get the toaster. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I think I'll go ahead and end it there. I'll go ahead and remove this here. I will give props to my audience, so as I always try to do. Will DeMarco, Benedict, Pabi Chulo, Kaz back on Discord, Nationalist Gamer, Good Night, Timothy, Will DeMarco, Nationalist Doomer, Colonel Autism. Let me make sure here. Guardsman Gaming. Let me see here. I saw Punjabify. I know he was in the chat as well. What else we got here? Glorious Prager, yeah. Manny, is this what it's all about, Manny? Let's see here. I'm trying to look through here. Oh yeah, Ole was in here as well. Benedict, I said. Union Army Ball, he was in here as well. I think that's about it, though. I'm trying to get my props to my audience, so. Muhammad was a false prophet. I'm not going to get into that. Is that about it? Yeah, that's about it. Okay. I'll keep it there, though. Yeah, see you guys. God bless. God bless. Amen to that. Let's go ahead and do it with the old outro here. The audio will probably double. So I'm going to go ahead and just, I'll start it and see if I unplug it, see if that helps. Because I've noticed one random thing here. For those, if y'all ever try to you spend the money, spend the bit of bulb to have the setup that I do on StreamYard, it speeds up. If I play the outro, I think I can usually tell when it kind of speeds up and when it goes to regular speed. So I'm going to see if I do this. I'm going to go ahead and unplug the mic and see how that works. But basically just to say, I hope you have a good night. See you later and goodbye.
Thank you.